Hey everybody, welcome back into another FF Statistics YouTube video. This is going to be another video on another running back that a lot of you guys might be familiar with. Rookie last year, really burst onto the scene. A lot of people loved him coming out of Toledo as a rookie running back who got a really, great landing spot in Andy Reid's offense. And that player is Kareem Hunt. Taking a look at Kareem Hunt's 2017 statistics and, based on his performance last year, a lot of the owners who had him, who drafted him in rookie drafts, you guys know exactly what he did and what he was capable of doing last year right off the bat in week one against the Patriots. So his end of year totals, he had 272 rushing attempts for 1,327 yards, good for 4.88 yards per carry, and 8 rushing touchdowns, and also added 53 receptions on 63 targets for 455 yards and 3 touchdowns through the air. That was a total of 295.2 PPR fantasy points, which was good for the RB4 in 2017 behind Gurley, Bell, and Kamara. So a really elite running back who was thrust into the starting role after Spencer Ware went down with injury in the preseason, and he will continue to remain the RB1 in the Kansas City Chiefs offense, now headed by Pat Mahomes at quarterback. So a really young but explosive and dynamic and fun team to watch heading into 2018, and Kareem Hunt is going to be a very big part of that. Before I get into the projections for Kareem Hunt, I would just like to point out Andy Reid's running back history in terms of fantasy. If you look at the chart here, he has an extensive history of fantastic running backs dating back all the way to Deuce Staley and then Brian Westbrook with the Eagles, going back into LaShawn McCoy with the Eagles, and then when he moved to Kansas City, inheriting Jamal Charles, and then he had 2 seasons in 2015 and 2016 where Spencer Ware at RB17 was his best running back performance of those 2 years, with Charles's injury and everything like that. And then, of course, Kareem Hunt as an RB4 last year. So throughout these 18 individual seasons, 10 of which Andy Reid has had an RB1 finish, and in another 5 he's had at least an RB2 finish. So that's 15 out of the 18 seasons under Andy Reid. His primary running back has finished as at least an RB2, and 10 of which he's been an RB1. And looking at it, he's basically been an elite RB1, Kareem Hunt, and then Jamal Charles had a RB7, RB1. Shady had 2 RB2 seasons, and then going back to Brian Westbrook, who went 8, 1, 4, 10, 7, and then 20 is the RB2. And then really Deuce Staley and Darnell Autry were the 2 players who really put blemishes on Andy Reid's coaching history, even though Staley had 2 top 15 PPR finishes. So really, we all talk about how situation can sometimes elevate players, over talent when we're comparing players on different teams and everything like that. But Kareem Hunt here has really, a fantastic combination of talent and situation in Andy Reid's offense that a lot of people were drawn to in rookie drafts last year that drafted Kareem Hunt and are now reaping the rewards for having an elite, for sure top 10 running back, if not, in conversation for being a top 5 dynasty running back if it wasn't for guys like Gurley, Bell, Zeke, David Johnson even. So let's dive right into Kareem Hunt's 2018 projections. And like Christian McCaffrey and Jerick McKinnon, these are based on Andy Reid's coaching history and past, a little bit of what we've already seen from Kareem Hunt and what we can expect from the Chiefs offense as a whole in 2018. And so I've actually got him statted out for 217 rushing attempts, which is a drop of about 60 attempts from last year. And if you guys think that that's, a big drop off, if you're expecting that he should be getting about 270 carries, he definitely can. It's definitely in the range of possibilities. But you got to remember last year, the best running back behind Kareem Hunt was Charcandrick West. And so now they get Spencer Ware back, who I will be talking about in just a second for all you Spencer Ware truthers out there, what his role is going to be in this offense. So I expect him to take some of the carries away from Kareem Hunt. Andy Reid would probably want to do this to make sure that Kareem Hunt can stay healthy throughout the whole entire 16-game stretch and into the playoffs, assuming that they make the playoffs, which I expect they'll be in the conversation at the end of the year. So I think 217 carries is about what Kareem Hunt will see next season. He'll still be a very efficient runner at 4.73 yards per carry, which would put him over 1,000 yards at 10.28, and also have 6 rushing touchdowns as well. Through the air, he'll still be a big part of that passing game as well. 60 targets, 47 receptions, 388 receiving yards, and 2 to 3 touchdowns as well. So adding all that in, that's 244 PPR fantasy points, which in 2017 would have made him the RB8. So definitely still a top 10 running back, still an elite running back, assuming that Andy Reid uses him every single week. We all know that was the big issue with him last year, where he had that spell in the middle of the season where he wasn't getting touches. He wasn't seeing the ball. He wasn't getting carries. And that really hurt, Kareem Hunt owners in the middle of the season. Now, he did pick up at the end of the year and, helped everybody who got into the playoffs that owned him or traded for him during his little lull. But assuming that he can stay consistent through all 16 games, Kareem Hunt is going to be a top 10 running back again. And you might consider this to be somewhat of a sophomore slump, going from RB4 to RB8. But I think this is more in the range of what we can expect for Kareem Hunt. I don't think he's going to be a top 5 running back because I don't think Andy Reid wants to give him the exact volume to be a top 5 fantasy running back like the guys like Gurley and Bell and DJ and Zeke. So he'll have to rely on a lot more of efficiency and more than volume in 2018. And like I alluded to before, a lot of that volume is going to be taken away from Kareem Hunt and given to a guy named Spencer Ware, who I know a lot of people are on. And so looking at Spencer Ware's projections, you'll see I have him statted out for 80 carries for 346 rushing yards and 1 to 2 rushing touchdowns. Now, 80 carries might not seem like a lot to a lot of people, but if you look at Andy Reid's coaching history, he usually, when he has a dynamic 3-down back, Jamal Charles, LaShawn McCoy, Brian Westbrook, the guy behind him still sees enough to spell that 3-down back, on certain drives or plays or whatever, but he's not getting enough volume to really be a viable RB piece throughout the entire season. So I believe Spencer Ware is going to be a waiver wire guy who will definitely have value in a certain weeks. He might have flex consideration in certain games, and then definitely if Kareem Hunt were to go down, Spencer Ware now becomes the guy. So he is a very primary handcuff, not in the sense of Tevin Coleman, where he has viability on his own because of his own individual volume, but he has more handcuff value than guys like, say, James Conner or John Kelly or whoever the backup is for Todd Gurley or Alfred Morris behind Zeke Elliott. So because of the individual volume that I believe Spencer Ware will see, I do believe that he will be worth maybe a late round flyer in redraft. He's still worth a hold in Dynasty, and if you are holding him, news is that he should be good for training camp. He's not 100% yet, but over the next month or two, he should be looking at getting some training camp work, and then I'm sure that we'll see a good amount of him in the preseason as he gets back into game speed, preparing for the 2018 season. I also have Ware charted out for 30 targets, 23 receptions, 202 receiving yards, and maybe another touchdown or 2. So we're looking at about a 500 to 600 total yard player with maybe 3 touchdowns, maybe 4 on the high end. So fantasy-wise, we're looking at 96 PPR fantasy points, which would have been good for RB50 in PPR leagues in 2017. So again, not viable by himself, but again, might be worthy of flex consideration certain weeks, and then definitely if something were to happen to Kareem Hunt and he were to miss games, Spencer Ware would then become the guy and would be the primary redraft waiver wire pickup that week. And then if you hold him in Dynasty, he will become, an RB2 for you that you can plug and play as needed if Kareem Hunt were to go down. So he could be, in that sense, he could be a league winner for some players. should Kareem Hunt go down. So I would advise Kareem Hunt owners to try and go out and get Spencer Ware. The website is ffstatistics.com. I announced on Twitter that next week's YouTube video is going to be on what we can expect from Tyreek Hill, Sammy Watkins, and Pat Mahomes from the passing offense of the Kansas City Chiefs now that we've done the rushing side of it. Thank you guys so much. Can't wait to talk to you guys again next week. See ya.